Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Roundtable here on ASU-TV. Tristan Harlan here. My good friend, my good compadre, my brother from another, Cooper, the Juicebox Melder. And Cooper, we've kind of taken a break from the show due to some severe weather we've had around the area, which all those that were impacted or affected by that weather, we hope you guys are okay and are able to start the rebuilding process of the next chapter of your lives. But it seems like every time we get on a roll, something happens and we have to take a hiatus.
I know, we get going and then, I mean, if something's going to happen, it happens to both of us. You get sick, and then next thing you know, I'm sick. And then, I mean, I guess it's just because we're always around each other. But you know what? We're finally back. It's the beginning of April. We got one more month of doing this.
We are literally on second, bottom of the eighth. We are about to round home.
We're headed. We got the sign up, said something like this, head coach. I don't know. He said, we're running home, and so we're guns blazing. We're not looking behind.
Right, so, of course, the last time we were on the show, as Cooper just dropped his mic pack, dummy, Cooper wasn't here. It was, let's see, who was on the show with me last week?
We did a Zoom last
We
show.
We did a Zoom. That's right, we did a Zoom because Cooper was in Florida with Miss Courtney Benakis. Hello, Courtney. Hope you're having a fantastic day whenever you're watching this, if you even watch this at all. And, you know, we talked about Coach Hodson leaving.
Yeah.
And, you know, Cooper, I just got to ask you, now that we're back here, we've had time to think about it. What do you think about Hodson leaving?
Unfaithful, unloyal.
What?
Not showing loyalty.
What?
To not the state of Jonesboro.
What?
The state of Arkansas. Yeah, I said state of Jonesboro. We're Arkansas State, so take it or leave it.
I threw him off.
Yeah. So I'll restart. Unfaithful.
What?
To Jonesboro.
What?
To Arkansas State.
What?
To the team.
What?
To the fans.
What?
To the community.
What?
You know why?
What?
Because Cooper Melder said so.
Oh, my God.
But, you know, we said, I mean, when we were talking about it on the Zoom, we were saying it just feels like something fishy is going on because at the beginning of it, it was rumored he was going to go to UNLV. That was like the big rumor, UNLV. And I was like, you know, I kind of joke and said it's not the 90s anymore. If you don't get that and you don't have the ball knowledge, UNLV, they were good back in the 90s. But, and going off that, UNLV, I would get it. It's Las Vegas. I mean, what else? It's a great place to recruit. And then he went to USF, and you're like, USF? The only thing I can remember USF ever being good was when they were ranked like number 2 for like a week in 2007, the crazy football. But besides that, they haven't done anything. Sure, they played close to Alabama one time in a monsoon, but besides that, I mean, nobody talks about them. I don't know. Because, yeah, you're going to Tampa, that's going to be your recruiting area, but now you're having to recruit with Florida, Florida State, UCF, you have FIU, FAU, you have the University of Miami down there. You have throw up the U. You have all these bigger colleges, whereas in Arkansas, the only in-state team that you're really competing with is the University of Arkansas. But now you're moving to Florida saying, oh, we're going to get all this NIL money, this, and that. But now you're fighting to get players with an SEC school, two ACC schools, and then some other notable programs. I mean, FAU, 2 years ago, they went on that Final Four run.
Right. And look, and here's the thing, and I'm just going to be probably the only one to say this that, you know, covers the Red Wolves like we do, but I mean, I have no ill will towards Coach Hodson. I mean, he's never given me a reason not to like him. Of course, I hate that he left, don't get me wrong, but you know, at the end of the day, college athletics, it's a business. You know, it's a brand, it's a business, it's a way to make money, just like everything else in this world is. The only thing people care about is money. So, you know, him, his son, his wife, you know, I hope they go to Tampa, they live a happy, healthy life, and, you know, maybe Coach Hodson leaves USF in 2 or 3 years and goes maybe back to Alabama and replaces Nate Oates or, you know, just gets another big-time job somewhere. But the one thing I just kind of hate is the fact that we lost Isaiah Nelson. I mean, and I've said this to you, and I don't remember if I said this on the Zoom, but it's always funny how in today's landscape, Arkansas State gets lightning in a bottle twice. First time with Norchad Omier, and now with Isaiah Nelson, both going to schools in the state of Florida after the head coach leaves or gets fired. well, in Norchad's case, he left before Bellato got fired, and then now Coach Hodson goes to USF. But I don't know. I hated that Isaiah Nelson left. I saw him on campus the other day, and of course, I wished him well, wished him good luck in the season, told him to give me a signed jersey when he makes it to the NBA. But I don't know. As an Arkansas State fan, as an Arkansas State supporter, I hate to see those guys leave. But, I just think for men's basketball landscape of things, I don't know. I just hate the way it all ended.
Well, the thing is, for me, with Norchad, he was going to Miami, an ACC school, and we saw what he did at Miami. He went to the Final Four. So it was like, okay, it kind of makes sense. Like, he's going to a bigger school, an ACC school. You have Duke, North Carolina in their conference. So it made sense to me. Like, when he was announcing he was transferring, I was like, you know what? Saw it coming, and he went to a bigger school. But the thing, I get you want to follow your head coach. The thing that really I just can't wrap my head around is it's not like he's jumping from the Sun Belt to an ACC or a Sun Belt to an SEC or Sun Belt Big Ten, whatever the fact is. It's Sun Belt to the American Conference. All the American Conference really has is Memphis. You take Memphis out of there, they're terrible. I mean, yeah, Tulane's gotten good in this recent years, but besides that, it's been Memphis and then everybody else. I couldn't tell you anybody else. Like, you have teams in there that are they're just similar to a Sun Belt school. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me to make that jump to not even, a conference that might be, if they're better, it's because of Memphis, or besides that, we're on the same level. It just doesn't make sense to me. But with the state of college athletics, it's kind of hard to be a fan, not even for a Sun Belt school, but even these bigger schools, because it seems like now you're not having guys that are staying here 3-4 years. It's like we're going to get a completely entire new roster every single year. And it's hard to kind of grow attachment to the program because, growing up, you grew attachment to teams because you're seeing the same player every single year that you love to watch. But now it's like, oh, I like this guy. Look on Twitter. Oh, he's gone.
Right. Well, and too, I hope, Darian Ford, I hope he comes back. T-Baby, I hope he comes back. Taron Todd just entered his name into the draft. So I hope, he finds success at the next level, whether that's in the NBA or overseas, kind of like Caleb Fields is doing, DeAndre Dominguez, and others. But, and look, here's the thing. And I will say this. When it comes to someone like Isaiah Nelson, with the close bond I have with him, I don't care if Coach Hodson has to cheat his way to a victory. I just want to see Isaiah Nelson win.
Yeah.
I genuinely want to see Isaiah Nelson win because Isaiah Nelson is that kind of guy that goes to a program and kind of makes the program a better place. And I'll say this, and I'm not trying to glaze him. I'm not trying to be, his biggest fan or a fanboy or whatever. But when Isaiah Nelson walks into a room, he legitimately will light it up because he has just got that kind of personality.
Yeah.
Joe's opinion, he's an electric shooter. I have nothing but well wishes for those two guys. But I just hate how it ended with both of them with Coach Hodson here at Arkansas State. But like I said, I don't care if they got to cheat their way to a victory. I just want to see Isaiah Nelson at the very least win something, even if it's a conference championship. But moving focus now, is because we're going to dive into the men's basketball program a little bit later. Real quick, I do want to shout out the women's basketball team. Their NCAA tournament did not go the way anybody here thought it was going to. They got absolutely dismantled by the eventual national champions, the University of Connecticut. But I say, hey, we lost. They lost to the national champions.
Yeah, they lost to the greatest women's basketball program of all time. I mean, if you're going to lose to anybody, why not it be the best team of all time? So you know what, it sucks how it went, but, their coach did have high praise.
Yeah.
UConn's head coach had high praise for Coach Des Rogers. He was saying, their style of play is tough to play against. He was like, they're going to win a lot of championships in the Sun Belt Conference if she sticks with that style of play. So it was good to hear, one of the greatest women's basketball coach, if not the greatest college basketball coach of all time, give that praise to Coach Rogers and the women's basketball team at Arkansas State. Right.
And then again, just another quick little note before we, go to break and then dive in more to other things around Arkansas State University. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the ASU-TV socials recently, but I actually got the chance to sit down with Memphis Showboats wide receiver Jonathan Adams. and, talk to him about his time here at Arkansas State, what it means to be a showboat, life in the UFL, and just, how it translates from being at Arkansas State to the professional leagues at the Memphis Showboats. I know it's not the NFL, but, professional football is,
It's professional football.
Yeah, and I asked a question, and I kind of want to ask you because I'm interested to hear your 2 cents on the matter. I asked him, I said, who's the better 7, Corey Rucker or Omar Bayless? And he said Omar. He said Omar. He gave me a clean out answer of Omar. But I want to ask you the same question.
I'm with Jonathan Adams, Omar Bayless. I only got to see him play once, but Jonathan Adams was playing with him, and those 2 guys, him, and I think it was either Logan Bonner at quarterback or it was Logan Bonner at quarterback, and those guys, he's really good. I'm not discrediting Corey Rucker whatsoever because he's had a tremendous year with Arkansas State, his career here. But Omar Bayless, right now, Omar has it. Corey, if you don't like that, and that's a challenge for you, go off next year, and I hope you become the better receiver.
Well, if you ask me, sorry, Omar, but I'm going with the all-time receiving leaders in Arkansas State football history. The rock star, Corey Rucker, the man who went all the way to South Carolina, realized the SEC ain't nothing but a bunch of corporate football players and came back home to become the all-time receiving yards leader.
The owner of ULM, some might say.
ULM's daddy.
Yeah.
They better get ready to send him a Father's Day present come this summer, as well as the University of Central Arkansas. But yeah, it was fun talking to him. We're actually going to get the chance to cover the Showboats at their next home football contest against Houston Roughnecks. So I'm excited for that. Excited we get to bring Kate Marsh along, which I'm going to go ahead and make the announcement now. We'll dive into it later. But next semester, once Cooper and I are gone, Kate Marsh will be taking over Red Wolf Roundtable. You guys have seen him on air with us before, talking about football, basketball, all things Arkansas State athletics. He's done a great job filling in for me when I'm not able to be here. He's done a great job filling in for Cooper when he's not able to be here. So we couldn't pick a better person to take over the reins of the show next semester. And who he's going to do it with, I don't know. We're going to find out. We hope you guys enjoy him and what he's going to bring to the show and the next flavor and the next era of ASU-TV and Red Wolf Roundtable. But for that, I think it's good. Go ahead and good enough to send it to break. So we're going to send it to break. When we come back, we'll dive into the new men's basketball head coach here at Arkansas State University, Ryan Pannone. Stick around.
Students should watch ASU-TV just to see the creativity that a college student can get. The creativity that some of these students have is truly amazing. Getting that experience can really just take you further, and I feel like our program does that for a lot of students.
When you say experience counts, it's experience that counts for a lifetime.
Boxes, I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it, quitting was never an option. Exhausted, this passion is never exhausted. And you cannot stop it, nah, you cannot stop it. Quitting was never an option. And you cannot stop it, nah, you cannot stop it.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV. Now it's time to dive once again into the men's basketball program and talk about the new head coach here in Jonesboro, Coach Ryan Pannone. Coach Pannone comes to us from the University of Alabama. Who would have thought?
Yeah, you're seeing the graphic. It's a meet and greet that already passed, so don't mind that. But, it's just showing that, we have a new head coach, like you said, an assistant from Alabama. So, I guess the thought process was, well, it worked last time, might as well try it again.
Right, and talking about the meet and greet graphic, I guess our graphics guy just couldn't find a better picture of Coach Pannone or anything else. Not trying to throw any shade at our graphics operator.
Well, when it comes to graphics operator, whoever that is, the graphics machine we have, you have to have a PNG or a JPEG file, and every other file was not that, and that was the only one that was. So you know what? The graphics operator was like, you know what? It's been a long day, so I'm going to run with it. So that's
question: what's the JPEG and a PNG?
This is not video production or whatever. Broadcast graphics. If you want to do that, you can take the class. I'm not a professor. I don't get paid for that information.
But anyway, shifting focus back to the new head coach. But yeah, it comes to us from University of Alabama. A lot of people have had a lot of great things to say about him. During the introductory press conference, I actually sat there and asked him, I said, hey, Coach, what's your plan for the NIL landscape here in Jonesboro? And he said, well, quite frankly, we're not looking for how did he put it? We're not looking for just supporters. We're looking for partners. Like, we want somebody to go hand in hand with us in this experience, and we want to change the game the way NIL is thought about here in Jonesboro. And good friend of the show, good friend of me and Cooper, and our lovely friend Kate Morris in the control room, Braden Morris, asked him, hey, you going to bring Darian Ford back? And he said he plans to, because Darian Ford was actually at the press conference with his agent, Parker St. Pierre. So, I just think when it comes to Coach Pannone, he was probably the best hire for the moment, because a lot of coaches that probably would have made the jump were either assistants on other programs that made it further into the NCAA tournament or just did not qualify for where Jerry Scott and the rest of the athletic administration saw the basketball program going. And I say Jerry Scott, that's the only one that had a hand in it, but it was also Jeff Purinton, Vice Chancellor for Intercollegiate Athletics. But, I just think where it is right now, Arkansas State basketball has a history of having a coach not having an entire roster when they come back or come to the team. So I'm excited to see what Coach Pannone can do. And again, I think that this next generation of Red Wolves is going to come in and they're going to usher in dominance the way that the team last year did. And, hey, you never know. Maybe they may cheat their way to another Sun Belt Conference championship appearance. I don't know. But all I know is this, is whether it's Butch Jones, Coach Hodson, or now Coach Pannone, the University of Alabama and Arkansas State Universities must got a kind of a handshake and agreement deal.
Was it Jeff Purinton?
Yeah, he was from Alabama as well.
Purinton was from Alabama, so you know what? I guess we're the Alabama Red Wolves or the Arkansas State Crimson Tide somehow, some way.
The Arkansas State Scarlet Tide.
Scarlet Tide, my fault. Scarlet Tide, my fault if anybody's worrying about that. But when we talked about potential hires, a name that was thrown around a lot, not only between we brought up, but throughout the Arkansas State community on Twitter, fan page? Not fan pages, but I don't know. It's where a community where you can go on. It doesn't matter, but T. Butter's name was thrown around a lot. I don't know. I can't remember.
Brother's not chronically online. Sorry,
No.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but T. Butters was a name thrown around, and the unloyal guy to Jonesboro, Coach Hodson, he put out a tweet that I kind of thought was uncalled for, saying the next head coach at Arkansas State should be T. Butters. He's the most deserving, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you're leaving. Honestly, don't care about your opinion anymore. You're out of here. Don't tell us who you think should be hired. I mean, if it was up to you, you'd hire the Barstool staff. But that's another topic for a different day. Yeah, I'm going to be throwing shots all for the rest of the time. But T. Butters. And, I said I really didn't like it just because I didn't think he was ready, in my opinion. I don't think he was really well equipped to bring in a new staff and a new program. So, T. Butters did, shocking, go to USF. I mean, who would have thought that? But, I'm glad we didn't get Butters.
Right, and the thing is, like I said last segment, I don't have any ill will towards Coach Hodson and the decision he made. Now, while yes, it is a parallel move to some Some may disagree. Oh, well, it's in Tampa, Florida. It's not a parallel move. Yeah, it is. Literally the only difference between Tampa Bay and Jonesboro, other than them having an NFL team in Tampa Bay and an MLB, well, they don't have an MLB team right now because it's weird.
They don't even support the team.
Yeah,
so it doesn't matter.
Weird circle of life thing. Well, that's not the show to get into here. But like the only thing they have outside of that is a beach.
Yeah.
And arguably
Skyscrapers, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we got hotels and churches and I don't know, restaurants and a Walmart. Man, the more I'm talking, the more I'm realizing why he left. but in all seriousness, I think where it stands, while it's not just a well-known superstar hire, they're going to bring Dawn Staley from South Carolina to Arkansas State to coach men's basketball. Like, I just still think that it's going to be a time test. Now, again, I don't know if he's going to make the Sun Belt Conference Championship in year one off a buzzer beater from a legacy player here at Arkansas State University, but I will say patience is a virtue, and slow progression is still progression. And as stupid as that sounds, it's one of my favorite sayings because it's true. Because Rome wasn't built in a day, and you take time with a program like Arkansas State, and you can reap the benefit. I mean, look at Destiny Rogers, for example. I mean, yes, I know we've talked about Des a lot, but there's no better example. I mean, she literally came in as an assistant, brought the team from the ground
into the head coach.
Literally brought the ground from ground zero to where we are now. I mean, again, there's no better compliment that we can give anybody to say, hey, kind of similar to the Coach Des situation where you don't have a roster, you're coming in brand new, not knowing what's going on, you're going to have to not reinvent the offense, but you're going to have to put your own spin on things. But I just think when we look at it from an outsider's point of view, looking in, from somebody that has never paid attention to the University of Alabama a day in its life, that what people are saying about him is really good. And if they keep up at least 25% of the offense that they have ran at the University of Alabama in the last 6-7 years, then I think this team's going to be very dangerous and very dynamic if they get the right talent. I mean, this guy's coached in the NBA, he's coached overseas, he's coached at an SEC school, and now he's coaching at Arkansas State. So I think for the moment it was a home run hire, but only time's going to tell whether it's going to come to fruition or if it's just going to be something that just doesn't work out.
Yeah, and something that I also heard is that he's going to want to bring in a lot more international players. I mean, it worked out. We had, who was it, El Sheikh from Egypt. We had
Omar
North Chad. We had a couple good players that were from this country. We went overseas, brought them here. So, I heard that he's going to want to work the international level. I mean, you're seeing the NBA nowadays. It's a bunch of international players that are having big success. So why not bring it over to Arkansas State, get them on the map, get them up and going? So, like you said, time's going to be the story of it all. Only time's going to tell what's going to happen. We're just going to have to wait and see. But, the community of Jonesboro, A-State fans, they're happy with the hire. I'm happy with the hire. At first, I was kind of like, well, quite frankly, didn't really know him because he's an assistant in Alabama. Don't pay attention to him. But the more as days have gone by and the more things I've heard about him, I think it'll eventually be a great hire by Arkansas State once again.
Right, and one thing I will add before we go to break is that he said in his press conference, hey, if you see me out in the grocery store, out in public, feel free to say hello. I'll answer any questions you guys may have before a game, after the game, or, near in the grocery store, whatever. And I don't really talk about this publicly, but I will here, and I'm a man of faith. I'm trying to repair my relationship with the good Lord above, and I was at church this past Sunday, and Lord behold, I turned around because I was looking for something in my chair, and who's sitting behind me but Coach Pannone, his wife, and I didn't say anything because I didn't feel like church was the place to say hi or shake his hand or, whatever, because we were in the middle of service. But I will say that for a guy who just got to Jonesboro, who actually came during a tornado warning, and, you know, looking around to be in church on Sunday morning to say all this stuff about, hey, I'll answer any questions you guys may have, no matter what's going on. You know, don't pull your punches. I'm going to bring in international talent. You know, I want to be a winner here in Jonesboro. I think that the Arkansas State community is going to love Coach Pannone.
Yeah, and one more question for you. What do you expect year one from Coach Pannone?
I mean, okay, so here's the thing, and I cannot give an in-depth detail of what's going to happen because there's no roster right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's more stuff that Caton and whoever he has on the show next semester will be able to talk about more. And, you know, if he wants us to come back, I'd love to make an appearance here and there, but, you know, I don't want to step on any toes, step up to the line, whatever. But I think that in year one, I would not be surprised if Arkansas State does not finish third regular season and makes it at least to the semifinals, because I just think there's a winning culture here in Jonesboro. I think that a lot of people don't want to admit it because they don't want to live in the moment. They want to be prisoners to their own self-esteem. And I think that there's a lot more potential here in Jonesboro than people want to say and give credit for.
I like the answer.
But, all right, guys. Well, now that I'm done doing my press conference day of the week, I'm going to send this back to break. When we come back, we're going to talk about baseball. Yeah. So stay tuned for Red Wolf Roundtable right here on ASU-TV.
Here to deliver the latest news on A-State sports, ranging from football, basketball, baseball, and more.
I'm your host, Tristan Harlan, alongside your other host, Cooper Melder.
Red Wolf Roundtable is your local sports source.
Tune in to Red Wolf Roundtable to get your fix on sports talk and news.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
ASU-TV, covering all your favorite sports. From Red Wolf Roundtable to Westside Football and more, ASU-TV has you covered. Tune in now to ASU-TV for news and coverage on these sports and more.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV. Now it's time to dive into the Red Wolves on the diamond and talk about how well Coach Silva has been in his first year at the helm of the Arkansas State Red Wolves.
Yeah, so it's already on track to be better than last year. I think last year we only had 7 conference wins. We're already up to 5. So, you know, at this rate, unless the team completely collapses, we're going to get past 7 conference wins. And, you know, Coach Silva, I mean, while the record may not show it, he's been doing good things. You know, on Tuesday night, the team actually traveled to Fayetteville to play a midweek game, a non-conference game against the #1 ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. And, you know, you're looking at the score and you're like, okay, we lost 7-3. You know, they had more hits than us, but, you know, we had 13 strikeouts. We only walked 5 of their guys. So the score doesn't tell the story. If you were there, I mean, the Red Wolves actually started off the game, had a lead. They got it to 1-0 at the top of the second. They came back, tied it, and then went up, got a 2-1 lead for the third. And, you know, we were on a roll. They were doing good. And then we made a pitching change. They hit a 3-run shot to go up 4-2. We actually went back, got it, score a run the next inning, got it to 4-3 in it. Then the next inning, the bottom of that inning, gave up 3 runs, gave up a 2-run shot and then another home run. But it was a good game. I mean, the talent is there. I mean, it's a young team, but the talent is there. We just need to figure out hitting it. And, you know, speaking of young talent, Jack Hibbard, he's a freshman pitcher. He's currently 5-2 with a 4.09 ERA. He has 8 starts and only 5 home runs given up. So, you know, the freshman talent, it's there. But back to the Arkansas game, Cole Turner, he started the game for the Red Wolves, and he was lights out. Pitched 4 1/4 of an inning. He had 6 strikeouts. Yeah, 6 strikeouts. We had 13 total as a team. He only gave up 4 hits. He gave up 1 walk. And, you know, the stat book's going to go on and say he gave up 3 runs, but in my opinion, he only gave up 1. I get, you know, he let the 2 guys on base, which led the 3-run shot, but watching that game, he had 2 outs. He had 2 outs, 2 guys on. He walked the guy, got 2 guys on with 2 outs, and, you know, I feel like Coach Silva kind of bit the gun on it, kind of went early and made that pitching change, and literally we brought in that next pitcher and boom, out of there. I mean, an Oppo Taco, as they were calling it in Fayetteville, but it was a good game. I mean, it was better than last year when we got beat 13-0.
Yeah, and look, here's the thing, and I will say this about Arkansas State baseball. Over the years that Cooper and I have covered the program and talked about it on the show, it feels like the one thing that we've always said is that Arkansas State just doesn't have a pitching staff. They suck at pitching. They're suffering. They're, you know, when the game's on the line, it feels like we give up 25 walks and, you know, they lose the game. Alan Dunn was here from LSU. He didn't do well. Tommy Raffo was here, who played at Mississippi State, coached at Mississippi State, I do believe as well. He didn't do nothing in SEC talent, which arguably SEC baseball is probably the best baseball you're going to watch. But now that we've got a gritty guy by the name of Coach Silva, I almost forgot his name, I just think that it is starting to trickle on the upwards, which, you know, if we want to pull that graphic back up about the freshman pitcher, I mean, you cannot deny talent. And with a 4.09 ERA and a 5-2 record with 8 starts as a freshman, and the way he pitched Sunday against Coastal Carolina, I mean, this guy is going to be a stud for the Arkansas State pitching staff if he stays in Jonesboro for 3 more years.
Yeah, I mean, if we can just get the hitting figured out, because throughout the game, I mean, every game I've watched, we don't have a designated power hitter. We don't have a guy that comes up to plate like, okay, he's a home run threat. Like, if he gets a hold of it, he's going to go yard. But it's just like we want to play small ball, but we don't do it correctly. We'll have, you know, Will French, he'll get walked like normal. He knows how to work the count. He can get on base whenever. He'll get on, and then it's like we'll dig ourselves in a hole. We'll get 2 quick outs, and then we'll get a hit. We'll have a guy on second and third, and then we just can't bring them home. It's like situational hitting is not there for the team. If nobody's on, we'll get on no matter what. But it's like when runners get on base, runners get in scoring position, our bats just aren't there, and that's really been the struggle because we've seen it multiple times. We'll have somebody come out there, start the game for us, go 6 innings, maybe only giving up 1 run, and we can not do anything. Then after a while, they kind of figure out, okay, I'm going to start. Okay, I'm seeing this pitcher a lot more. I'm seeing what they're trying to do. It just, as the game goes on, we're not attacking in them, giving them pressure, and they're just relaxed and calm, and then they end up going on winning. But it's just, we have the pitching. The batting's just not quite where it needs to be. And something that I liked about Coach Silva that is different than Raffo is in the game against Arkansas, he was going through many different pitchers. If a pitcher gave up a walk or he went out there, gave up a home run, out of there immediately. It felt like with Raffo, his style was, well, I just brought him in. Let him warm up. And the next thing you know, this guy, it's not his day. It's 3 3-4 ball game. Now it's a 14-3 ball game. Silva was able to game management well, where he never let Arkansas just see the same picture and get comfortable, because if they get comfortable, they're the #1 team in the country for a reason.
Right, and here's what I'll say about the batting stuff for Arkansas State. The guy I want to see take the step toward the next level is Ashton Quiller. Ashton Quiller has the chance to be the best hitter on this team, on this lineup. And I mean better than Will French, Carson Cable, and Kaysen Tolan. He has the ability to go from first to third in the matter of a second. Like, this guy has got enough pop on his swing to get it deep into the outfield, and he's on third base quicker than a hiccup. I mean, this guy has the talent that Arkansas State has needed for a while, talent that I haven't seen in an Arkansas State uniform since Alan Greer. And Alan Greer just has not been gone that long. And what I mean by that is this, is, yes, you have your guys that are power hitters. Think of Brandon Hager. Yes, you got your guys that are going to get on base, as you mentioned, like Will French. Yes, you got your guys that can play the DH, that can hit home runs when they need to, like a Tollett. Then you got your guys that are hit or miss depending on the game, depending on the night, depending on the situation and the environment, like a Dadrick Kell. But you take all those things up and you mix them in a bowl, what do you get? And honestly, I feel like you get Quiller. Because Quiller has the most natural swing. He gets on base. He's able to get around the bag faster than I've seen anybody do it in a long time. And I just think, give him maybe a year. I can't remember if he's a senior or he's got more eligibility. But you give him just a little bit more time to settle in to Arkansas State University, this dude's he has the chance to be one of the best players in the Sun Belt because he's that good.
Yeah, and talking about Quiller for a bit, he also has heard this from our good old friend Peyton Bird.
Uncle Pepe.
Uncle Pepe. He can deadlift 700 pounds.
Jesus.
I mean, that's insane, 700 pounds. But
I could deadlift 700 pounds.
Yeah, I'm sure you could. It's just, baseball, it's a weird sport. You can go out there, win 10-0, then go out the next game and get beat 14-0. You never know. But the talent's there. The culture that Coach Silva wants to bring is getting built. And it's only a matter of time before this team everything just clicks together. It's only a matter of time when pitching and batting, they're both on, and then they stay on. They just keep going, and, it's on the uprise. There's so much potential there. It's hard to turn around an entire baseball team in a season. I mean, has it happened before? Yes, but it's rare cases. You just have to let them get this brand new staff a year under their belt. Get this brand new team a year under their belt. Let Coach Silva do what he needs to do, and we'll be up in the front of the Sun Belt, because you have teams like Coastal, they're ranked, Southern Miss is ranked, Texas State's really good. So the talent in the Sun Belt is there, and I feel like you give us time, we can be up there in the talks of them.
Right, and something else that I want to add too about this being a new season for the Arkansas State Red Wolves is that they have a new playing surface.
Yeah.
Like, they have a brand new turf. Now, I'm not saying these players haven't played on turf before, but you look at guys like Tollett, like Campbell, like Cross Jumper, like French, who's been in the program 2-3 years. For French's instance, 4 years, they're used to the old grass and dirt of Tomlinson Stadium, the Tommy Raffo way of doing things, where if you slide the wrong way, you're going to have a cut on your pants from the dirt and the rocks. And if you're Tyler Jeans, if you throw your hand down on the ground on the bump too far, you're going to have your thumb's going to get split.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys were nitty and they were gritty in the last couple years at Arkansas State, but now that they got the nice playing surface with the turf and the video board and, moving forward a couple years and they got a new training facility, locker room, all the glitz and glamour, blah, 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 that we talked about when Tom Bowen was the AD, and then he had to retire because of medical reasons, and then Jeff Puritan came in, and that was the last we ever heard of that. But I just think that from a grand scheme of things, the one program that people need to start diving into more is the A-State baseball program. While, yes, historically, they haven't been just over the top, super good like a Southern Miss, and they haven't upset teams like a Southern Miss, and they, or they're a smaller program that has made a deeper run into the College World Series like a Stony Brook did back in the day. I don't know. I think the one program outside of any women's sport here in Jonesboro that people need to dive into and start supporting more is the baseball program, because they're starting to trickle on the better for record wise. But I mean, then again, it's not hard to beat a record that Tommy Raffo had the last 2 to 3 years he was here.
Yeah, I mean, the stock is low for this team now. Buy into it, because sooner or later it will pay off and that stock will rise straight up and not look back, and you'll be wanting to be there from the start of it, But it makes me happy. Like I said, they don't have a winning record right now, but it makes me happy to see the success this team has had this season, because, man, these past 3 years for baseball, it's been a very, very tough watch.
Right, and I mean, you can go back on old episodes of Roundtable and just hear us talk about it. I mean, it's been hard to talk about. Yes, we've heard stuff from Raffo about the team. Yes, we've talked to players off camera and brought it back here. But I don't know. As someone who is just really diving into the game of baseball and really starting to understand more terminology and more different aspects of the game versus someone that grew up in it, kind of like Cooper has, I just think that, while yes, as Cooper says, baseball is a weird game, I just think that, to piggyback off Cooper, if you're going to buy into the team, now's the best chance to do it. Now's the best time to, get involved with the NIL at Arkansas State University. If anybody of you guys watching has a bigger business and wants to give to the team and the university athletic program, do it, because not only are you changing these student athletes' lives, you're possibly donating money, or, not even donating money, you're gaining a partnership with Arkansas State Athletics so that you could be part of the team that built a new baseball complex for Arkansas State. You were part of the NIL people that made it possible for better talent